Before we get going into the video, my name is Brando. For the new viewers, I'm the founder of Brandlux Media. We are an e-commerce growth agency. We've been able and so fortunate to work with 100 plus partners. And so the reason I started this channel is to document every framework that I know is proven to work and that actually work, so that you can get some value from it and hopefully make your business a success. With no further ado, I hope you enjoy this video. In today's video, I'm going to bring you through an e-commerce brand doing $300 million every single year. It seems like they're growing. Last time I checked, they were doing $300 million in 2023 or 2024. So it's an amazing brand. They're very, very strategic and very, very smart with the way that they run ads. I'm going to break down specifically in this video the creative foundation and the creative strategy that they're leveraging to scale to millions of dollars in ad spend. Okay, so before we get going into this video and before I disguise the company, if you are a new viewer, my name is Brando from Brandlux Media. I've been fortunate enough to work with over 100 companies in the last 6 to 7 years. This is just one of our clients, just so you understand the types of caliber of clients that we're used to working with. In the last 7 days, around $230,000 a month. We typically work with 7 and 8 figure companies. Now that we got the proof out of the way, let's get right into this video. I'm excited to talk about this company because they are doing amazing numbers. As you can see from a report from Shopify, they got actually interviewed from Shopify. Let me shrink myself here a little bit. They got interviewed by Shopify. They actually did a whole case study with them. And they talk about like how they generated $300 million just in 2023 with a 500% year over year increase in online sales globally. So they're an amazing brand. They're they're pretty much spread across Amazon, just Shopify. Let's just take a look here at their Amazon numbers. This product alone sold over 10,000 units in the last month. So you can imagine the volume that they're pushing. They're a 9-figure company, and maybe there'll be a 10-figure company in this year or next year, who knows, but they're really growing aggressively. Now what I want to do in this video is actually bring you through I want to go through their funnel, their strategy overall, so that we can then dissect and dive deeper into the creative strategy, because trust me, you've probably seen their ads. You probably know who they are. The brand is called High Smile. And they are doing, they're very, very creative with their ads, with their hooks, with their scripts. And so what I want to do in this video is break down these ads, why they work, so that we can leverage, including for my clients, leverage this exact same framework to make it work for us, right? For your brand in this case, right? So let's take a look. Most of their landing pages are direct to products. It's all basically products, so they're scaling horizontally. They're of course maybe sending towards some collections here and there so that they can see. In my case, if I open the store, it's in like UAE language actually, so I had to like translate it, because what they're doing and what they also talk about in their case study here is that what allowed them to scale is actually scaling to different countries with their international markets. So they're basically localized sites. So wherever, based on the geolocation, right, the site is and the domain is changed. And in fact, as you can see here, if you see it from the domain, maybe you don't, you see English and AE, which stands for the UAE, whatever. And so this is typically a typical landing page that they redirect traffic to. As you can see, like the reviews, the number of reviews are also much lower because this is a new market for them, right? Probably why they're doing that. But yeah, their landing page is very focused on the aesthetics and the results, nothing more. They have a direct offer, which they promote on their paid ads. They also have combined with option. Honestly, not the best site that I've ever seen that is like conversion optimized in my opinion, but it gets the job done. It's obviously working for them. And this is really optimized for mobile 100%. And so you add to cart. Nothing special about that. The checkout process is honestly very, very simple. Checkout, as you can see, everything is in Arab, but then you can check out, and the checkout process is standard. Maybe, most likely, I think this site is maybe a bit different for the US market, who knows, but this is what I'm seeing here so far in the UAE. Either way, let's take a look at some numbers over here, then we can dive deeper into some other metrics. But they're doing quite a lot of traffic, almost 800K a month visitors. Most of their traffic is coming from the US. Then they have 17% from Australia. This is actually an Australian company, so they were born in Australia. Everything is done through Australia. Their headquarters is in Australia, but their major customers are in the United States, as it's 21%, 20% from Australia. It's pretty much kind of spread around the world, but a big majority I think is the US. Okay, their distribution of ages is between 18 and 44. This is kind of like their major market, and in fact, they sell to the reason why their marketing works very well, and I'll show you in just a second, is because they sell fast results, before and after, instantly, which is very captivating also for kind of like the early age state, you know, the not the boomers, but the Gen Zs or whatever, so the younger generation, right? And so one other thing to mention here is that they have very strong direct and organic foundations, but this is mostly due to the paid traffic, and you don't really see it here on SimilarWeb very accurately, but they're spending a lot of money on ads, which is increasing the direct and their organic reach. Everybody thinks that, you know, they're getting like just randomly organic search. It's not the case. It's because of the paid ad effect that is just not explained in these diagrams. Now, let me, of course, their major platform is Facebook, along with Instagram. And let's take a look and dissect through exactly what ads they're running and why they are working. So first of all, let's filter by longest running ads. I like to use this tool called Autria. It's an amazing tool. I also like to filter by active ads to take a look at what they're doing. They have 562 ads. Let's take a look at how many ads they have active on their ads library on Meta. I think the majority of their spend for 9,000 ads. This is of course not active ads, but let's filter by active ads. I think they have like 300 or 400. Okay, interesting. Like checked yesterday and they had like 300. So either way, 190 active ads is like multiple 6 if not 7 figures in ad spend. It depends of course on each ad account. Everybody has different styles. I've seen ad account that have like just 190, 200 ads and they're spending like 7 figures. 7 figures. It really depends. Let's also take a look at how many ads they actually launched in the last 30 days. So including, yeah, so 682 ads were live in the last 30 days, and 627 were basically new ads. And so they're really iterating fast and they're being very, very successful at ads. I think the major kind of leverage point that they have is just the amazing scripts and hooks and before and after effects that they are leveraging. Let's take a look at some ads. And then I also want to bring you through some foundations that they're using when it comes to their creatives and the strategy that they're using when it comes to testing, so that we understand and analyze an 8-figure, or at this point I should say 9-figure creative process from A to Z. Okay, let's go back over here and let's analyze one of their ads.
Yellow, white, coffee, yellow, white.
So it seems like they're doing just really before and afters, as you can see here. Their entire video is based on results and proof. So before, after, showing the product, coffee, before, white, after, right? They're doing the same thing over here. In this case, they're talking about like the effect of like using those, you know, those Colgate things that you put in your mouth and you wash your mouth and it, you know, it cleans your teeth. I forgot what they're called, honestly, I don't remember. But they're basically doing that comparison, and that is the hook, right? They're being very creative. This is also a funny ad.
The biggest mistake people make?
With coffee and soda, the stain buildup on the teeth is clearly visible. To transform yellow teeth stain, we apply V30.
Yeah, and so they're being very creative once again with these before and afters. Once again, very, very creative. And you know what we do is that if we and of course, like the reason I'm showing you these things on Autria and how we funnel hack companies is because this is exactly what we do for our own clients. We go in tools like Autria. We assume, let's just assume for one moment that one of our clients is selling a similar product. Then we go in here and we study what works, and this is what you should be doing actively every single week, if not every single day. And then we study the script. We can transcribe the script of the voiceover, and then we can go into ChatGPT and maybe create similar scripts, or you can create similar scripts as well over here. And that could be your foundation, because you know it's a winner because they've been running this for a while. You see, you can copy the script, and this can be the foundation for your AI script or the voiceover that you want for your video, right? So they're doing a very, very good job. They're also doing image ads. Let's take a look at the distribution between images and video that they're running. Okay, 75% are videos and 24% are images. These are mostly for retargeting or like maybe some features and benefits, I noticed. But once again, look at these hooks. Like, look at these hooks. Yellow and purple, essentially their tagline is that yellow and purple eliminates and creates white, right? And so if your teeth are also yellow, then if you can put that on your teeth, they become white. And so that's basically their selling point. You probably saw a lot of these ads. They're doing very, very well. They also do like kind of like these ads where they're in like a clinic or a scientific like study room or something like that to make it, you know, even more curious. And then they do these videos where they literally open somebody's house, they put chocolate or coffee on it, right? And then they do like the after by showing, you know, this is the before once again, and then they do the after, and you can immediately notice the difference, as you can see, like literally. If you can recreate, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to sell the same product, but if you can recreate that before and after instant benefit, I would say instant benefit, instant solution to your paid ads, you'll decrease your cost per acquisition drastically. If you're able to do what they're doing from that perspective, that alone is going to be a huge impact. And so you have to also understand that people don't really care about your product. They really don't care. They don't give a shit. Actually, they just care about their solution, and then they care about your product if it helps them solve the solution. So keep that in mind. So the way that they're scaling actually is through marketing angles, and they're running a lot of ads, a lot of creative concepts. I'm not going to go through this information, but overall, long story short, they're distributing and scaling horizontally. And so most of their tests are probably going towards winners, and then 20% of their test, which is what we do, are basically new concepts that need to be tested that have never been tested before. This is what I recommend. And so what ends up happening if you keep this infrastructure is that you scale horizontally and you find new winning angles that can be scaled. This is what they're doing. If you take a look at all of their angles over here, we can filter by ad angles. You can see that, as you can see, like all of these are filtered by problem, solution, before and after, novelty, promotions, features and benefits, packaging, whatever. So they're basically promoting in different ways, and also they're inspiring different emotions: joy, excitement, curiosity, happiness, confidence, and then of course with different themes as well, once again. So they're being very creative. Let's take a look at personas. As you can see, ages between 25 and 44. This is why I love this tool. It really breaks down everything, and they're doing a very, very good job at scaling also horizontally. The hooks that work, let's take a look. If you have yellow teeth, what's this? The biggest mistake people make. The girl called our product a ripoff. This is actually good ad, where you can do this as well. I guess like you can basically get the ripped off version of your product, give it to the creator, and then send the same exact your product to the creator, and then they can basically do a comparison. This is the ripped off version, and this is the real version. Genius idea. Once again, go over the ads library and take a look at what they're doing so that you can do the same. Now, let's take a look at what is actually involved in their creative process. They have a lot of B-rolls, but the first foundation before anything, as I always like to say, is just market research and understand what's working. So one thing that you can do is that you can use customer mining. You can leverage customer mining to study angles and ad concepts. And essentially what these tools are is that you can go on like Amazon and use a tool called Shoeplex Copilot or something like that, or Shoelex Copilot or something. You can use that tool. Let's take a look. Shoelex Copilot Amazon reviews or something like that. Yeah, Shoelex Copilot, and then you can basically go on their Amazon, and then the tool, there's going to be an integration. You can click on the integration app, and then it will scrape all of the reviews and then give you a feedback of the reviews. Why is this important? It's really important because it allows you to have a very clear breakdown of what people think about the product, and you should do this if you have like to one of your direct competitors, assuming you sell like quite similar products, right? And then you have a very good understanding of what's working for them, what are people saying about their product, and it gives you inspiration on ad angles at the same time. So you should always do market research. So you can clearly see that they have done their market research. And then the next step that they're also doing is, of course, finding creators. Where do we find these creators? You can find them on Twitter, on Facebook groups, and UGC platforms. You can buy lists. You can also join our own list, where you can, I can actually share this in just a second, but you can get access to our command center. And within our command center, we basically also, this is like a reporting sheet that we use to track all of our collaborations, all of our ad copies, all of our creative tests. We have a CRO tracker, and within this sheet, we also have like a UGC list. You can get access to our list if you want, but either way, the foundation of their strategy is to really scale horizontally, also with creators. How do you find creators? If you want to do it by yourself, you can go on Twitter. You can go here and do UGC beauty, whatever you want. You can filter by people. And then here you basically have a bunch of UGC creators. I'm not going to do this tutorial. It's really self-intuitive and simple. You can do the same exact thing on Instagram on Twitter, on Facebook groups to get inbound. So people reach out to you. You do like a Facebook group, right? There's like these Facebook groups that have like 50,000 members, and you can find people that do fashion, beauty. There are 50 plus, filtered by demographic, and then eventually you're gonna have a sheet just like this one where you can filter by pets, kids. We have multiple columns because you have multiple client types, and then you put everything over here, and then you can decide who you want to work with, right? This is the foundation. The real leverage is when you have all access to this data, right? And you can start sending products out. Now, this is the foundation of their strategy, of course. And then the first thing that they do that I noticed is gather B-rolls. If we go back over here and we take a look at their ads, like you can notice that a lot of these products involve B-rolls, right? This is one scene. This is another scene. Right, this is another scene. These are all B-rolls, pieces, like scenes that are like 3 to 10 seconds long that different creators film. Like even this one. These are all pieces of B-rolls, 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 and creators can do these. They're of course doing it in like their factory or something like that, but creators can do these easily. You just need to give them a good direction of what you're looking for, and then once they understand what you're looking for, then they can replicate. In fact, this is the strategy that I just explained. You should create a document. We have a document. I can also show you ours, but it basically looks like this, where there's a title, the example of the UGC frame or B-roll that we want them to do, and then we give them a small explanation. So you're crying on the bedroom floor with your makeup on or something like that, and then they will recreate that same thing. And this is like another theme, right? Camera after laying in a messy bed in a few different positions, blah, blah, blah. And then you can give them a framework of like, this should be 10, 20 seconds and whatever. And so they're paying for like UGC people, B-rolls. And of course, the leverage here is that they're paying for instead of paying for one video and $200 or $300, they're paying for like 15, 20 B-roll pieces of footage that are essentially just, they take the same amount of effort to do. They're actually maybe even easier to generate compared to like a normal UGC video. And so you're paying for like maybe one creator and 15, 20, 25 B-rolls, which then you can give a bunch of B-rolls to your editors and they can build scenes all together. The next thing that you need to leverage is crafting AI scripts. This is something they do well. They also use normal voice. You can use a tool called 11 Labs. It works very well. Essentially very simple marketing angle. You give it a script and then you can create your variations with different AI scripts. The final solution here is that you have a video editor, AI scripts, B-rolls, and then you put all these things together to create similar ways of growing and scaling the account. Okay, this is basically how it works. Now, there's many other ways to scale. The most important thing here, guys, is really important, is to have a creative analysis tool. If you don't know exactly what ads are working, what creatives are working, which ones are not, within your own ad account, it's gonna be a mess. In fact, we have a system over here, which I share all my videos. Once again, you can get access to it if you want there's a link down below to this sheet. And we have a creative testing tracker where every single test and creative that we test on the ad account, this is basically each ad set we add a row. So this is another ad set number 7, right? We basically put the product name, break-even information, stuff like that, but then we also go deeper into like what emotion did we inspire on the ad, what hook did we use, what messaging did we use, what copy did we use, creatives, what was it, an image or a video or a GIF, right, based on selections. And so we can essentially analyze everything and break down everything so that we know what is working, and we can put 80% of our time and resources towards the things that actually move the needle forward. This chart that I was talking about before, the 80%, 20% rule, and then we can put 20% of our resources on things that maybe have potential that we want to test that we've never tested before, right? This 20% should fuel and allow this 80% to grow over time. And this is how you scale. Now, hopefully this made sense. Let's take a look at some other things that they are doing. They're using a storyboard strategy where they have 5 different UGC creators with different scripts. And as you can tell, maybe you couldn't tell, but they're testing a lot of different scripts, a lot of different ad copies. And this is really a useful way to scale if you don't know what script is working. Once you identify the script that is working, then you scale with that script with multiple different creators. That is the absolute best way to do it. And then you can start doing mashups. Once you have many different videos, you can put these videos together and create like mashup number 1, mashup number 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's how you can scale. And then of course, as I said before, and as I explained before, you can combine the strategy where you're doing one UGC video with B-rolls. and then you have editors create and put these b-rolls together, and with the script and the AI script that you give them. So this is also a very, very creative way of leveraging UGC stuff. One other really creative way that they're also doing quite often is leveraging kind of like whitelisting. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're going to a creator and you're telling them, hey, you want to partner up? I'm spending $3,000 a day, $10,000 a day on ads, and I can send that traffic to you using your essentially your Instagram handle and page and Facebook page. And so as you can see, these ads are from the page of the creator, and they look a lot more organic. This is a great way to decrease your cost per acquisition. The only thing that you need to make sure to do is that you're running ads. You're using their page or their Instagram profile, and then the creator, the ad that you're presenting is them. It's not like somebody else, or else there's disconnect, right? Because people are perhaps going to click on the profile, and then if they're going to see another person on the ad, they're going to notice it's an ad. So the entire process here, the goal, which I should say, is to create something super organic and promote not from the page, which is the business page, which is maybe unbiased advertising, but from the creator, right? Really, really interesting concept. We've tested this many times. It typically works. It decreases cost per acquisition and it allows you to create a much more organic video. In fact, why is this important is because as we go more over in time, 2025, 2020, skepticism is just going to increase over time. And so the least thing that we can do is to start implementing whitelisting strategies to decrease our cost per acquisition and to decrease the numbers of objections people have when they see ads, right? So once again, I hope this video was valuable. Let me see if I wanted to talk about other things over here, but I did cover several different aspects. Once again, you do have to understand that this is a $300 million brand. They're doing a lot of Amazon. They're also into retail, as you can see. Sephora, blah, blah, blah. They're essentially all over the world, which is one of the reasons why they're doing 9 figures. But a big proportion of their spend is coming from their advertising online. Big proportion. So I hope this video is valuable. Take a look at these hooks. You can also just take a look at their ads library and go over each creative one by one, but they're being very creative with the hooks and their ad angles. Take inspiration from this video, look at what is working, go and use these tools to funnel hack your direct best competitors so that you can come up with ideas and replicate the strategy and just make it better, build better offers, build better pages, do better ads, right? This is the way to do it. Don't reinvent the wheel, okay? That's it for this video. Once again, if you want access to this demo sheet where it has a UGC tracker, a visual tracker, email flows, email campaigns, CRO tracker, all these things, I'm not gonna go through everything over here, but you can get access to the sheet by clicking the link down below. And also, if you're a brand doing at least $100,000 a month, you can $100,000 a month, I should say, you can book an audit call. I can go over the business. We can go over the business together, and then of course, if we have capacity and there's an opportunity to do business together and grow together, then we can do something together. But it's a no pressure call. You can click the link down below to book in a call, and hopefully see you on the other side, and definitely see you in the next video. Bye. On a side note, before I end it off here, if you actually own an e-commerce business and you want your business and your brand to be audited, we can just hop on a call, hop on a free strategy session with myself or one of my team members, and we can pretty much have a conversation about your roadmap towards next year and how perhaps you can reach your goals. The conversation is very laid back. It's honestly just to understand if there's an opportunity for us to do even business together one day, okay? With no further ado, thank you once again, and who knows, maybe see you in the next masterclass.